Hello everyone, my name is Johnny and today I want to start off by just sharing a personal experience I had recently, which was really insightful and sort of opened up a new aspect of spirituality which I wasn't aware of before. So I attend these meditation classes every Wednesday with this quite experienced teacher, and usually there's some meditation and then there's inquiry questions. And one of the questions was, what am I not seeing in my usual awareness that's there? So it was something along the lines of that. What am I not seeing that I'm usually not aware of? Just in day-to-day life. And we sort of talk about them in groups, and then in the end, if you want to express what happened, or at the end of the class, she does like a bit of everyone talks, and I sort of, when I expressed that there was contracted energy within the body around this area, and there was resistance in this energy from this part of the body. That was resistance to the present, which I'd always semi been aware of, but not yet, obviously not usually, only when I can focus. And my approach to it has just been being aware of it. Just noticing it and hoping that, and sort of being aware of it, but with the intention of dissolving it through that. But it was stuck, and I was like, this emotion is stuck. And I expressed, and she says, okay, so what happens when you put your attention on it? And I was like, it's still there. I'm just aware of it, and in my mind, I'm okay with it being there. But there was obviously some resistance to it still, because it was there. And she goes, what if you approach it from the heart? What if you embrace it? What if you love it? And I closed my eyes and I did it, and it instantly dissolved this tension. And it was a different experience, because it just, obviously metaphorically, the heart and stuff, but it wasn't just letting it be. It was a step further by fully embracing it, fully loving this emotion. And I was like, wow, that is, it's almost a new perspective. And I feel like non-duality and spirituality can get dry. We're in this dry state of presence awareness, not exactly dry, nice and stuff, and there's an indifference there towards life, like a negative emotion. We're just sort of indifferent to it. But this was a different movement. This was embracing the unpleasant, not just letting it be and accepting it, but from the heart, fully giving that kindness. And I can't explain exactly how to do that. It's intuitive. It's approaching that as you would approach something you do like in life, something you do love. It's tapping into that energy and approaching the pain, and not with the expectation. When I approached it that way, I wasn't in a state of, I want to get rid of this, because that's counterintuitive. If you want to get rid of it, you're not already in that energy of loving and accepting this. But once you can fully love and accept that pain, not fully love and embrace it and welcome it, it'll probably dissolve if you truly do it. And there's obviously, for practical reasons, you obviously start with small things, like the little frustration you have maybe when you have to wash the dishes or take the bins out, and you're a bit, I don't really want to be doing this, I sort of just want to chill out. Try embrace it in those small moments and build your way up, just as a practice and practical. But what else I can see is coming at life fully from the heart, just fully embracing everything in life from that place of full acceptance. It's a difference. It's almost instead of just accepting all, let everything be, I am still awareness, let it all be. It's a movement towards that. It's an embracement of life. It's, you could say, a feminine aspect of awakening. You've got like the masculine still principle, whatever label you want to give it. And by moving into life and embracing whatever's coming up, whatever emotions, is true healing. Because these parts of ourselves, these contracted energies of resistance, is usually residues from childhood, or just imprints or parts of us that don't feel accepted. You may struggle with things like unworthiness or whatever, and it's because there's a part of you that doesn't feel accepted. And just presence, it's presence without an aspect of love most likely isn't going to heal that, because it's so indifferent. But with, I guess this ties into why you see in the Buddhist tradition there is a practice of compassion and metta, and they see it is the sort of the perfect balance of the two is the compassion and wisdom combined. That is the ultimate. Too much compassion and not enough wisdom is unbalanced. But and too much wisdom without compassion is unbalanced. From I don't know, you could say maybe a Mahayana Buddhist perspective, or wherever there's Bodhisattva tradition, not all of Buddhism, but I can't remember exactly where I've heard that, but I read it some time ago and it popped up in my head when I sort of was starting to experience a new aspect to awakening. And it's an embracement, and it's coming at life with not just recluse stillness, but with an unconditional love, because it is unconditional. You have to fully embrace all of it, and within that it's transforming. Because pain is, you could say, from my perspective, is a lack of love. Suffering is just a lack of light or love. When there's a dark room, it's dark not on its own right, but because there isn't light shining into it. So when we can shine love, light into the dark, hidden parts of ourselves, that's when a full embodiment starts to happen. And it's an aspect which I've almost overlooked because I've been so focused on stillness and presence. But that presence has an innate desire in it to embrace all of life, because ultimately everything we are experiencing is that. And love is transmutes something that appears not to be as love, and when it's fully seen, it just turns into the same thing. And this is also an important when we are doing emotional work. It's harder with denser emotions to do that. When we are inquiring and doing the emotional work, shadow work, this is going to help process these emotions, process these feelings. It's almost like there's us, the pure awareness, or whatever label you want to give it, the unknown. And when emotions come up, it's almost like it doesn't want to be. It's almost a separate self that comes up when an emotion, we from expansion, trigger, emotion, contraction. And if we can meet that trigger, if we can come back to ourselves when the emotions rise up, and not only just come back, but come back to presence and then move forward into the emotion with love, that's how we're going to be able to let these emotions go. Truly. And you'll know when you truly do it. This is a bit of metaphorical language and it's not super practical, but just sort of feel into the instructions with your body and you'll might get a sense of it. I guess a better way I could put it is, yeah, like I said before, just think of something you do embrace or do love. Maybe it's a friend or a parent or a partner. And then try generate that feeling when there's something negative and just love it, because for the sake of unconditional love and loving it. Anyways, if you have any questions or you want to sort of, some parts you don't understand, feel free to comment and I'll try my best to answer them. But this ultimately, you just have to feel into the body, and it's intuitive. And yeah, so thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one.